It's your even more fabulous mother love coming to you live and in living color. And how much more living color can this be? I just felt like a big burst of summer today. And because I wanted to just be out here where y'all know how I am. And I thought, this is very festive. Thank you very much. I am Mother Love, your even more fabulous host today on the Mother Love Show. And that handsome fella, and I want you to look at him good because that's a hand, look at him, got that big, beautiful smile. And you wouldn't even be able to tell that he kind of crazy because he isn't. He wanted to not just box, coach boxing, been to the Olympics. And this is going on right now. This is Mr. Jeff Mays. Hey, my brother, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing lovely. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all I can, and the easy one's starting. And I need y'all to be easy because the hard work stuff, I kind of sort of don't get it. So let's talk about Jeff Mays. Where were you at when you were 12 years old, 11 years old? What kind of young kid were you and where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a small town in Mississippi, and I wanted to start boxing after the first time I saw a boxing match on TV at about, 10 or 11 years old. And we didn't have any boxing gyms around there. Mm-hmm. So my brother and I hung up a feed sack, filled it full of dirt and put it in a tree. And we used to put socks on our hands and just punch until we couldn't punch no more.
No. Okay. You put sand in a sackcloth and hung it on the tree. And y'all just kept going. And now, what are your folks saying? What are the elders in your family and your mother and them saying? What is wrong? What is she saying? Because you know the first thing in my head, what is wrong with them boys?
What is wrong with them boys out there hitting that stuff in that tree?
And what do you remember the first fight that you saw?
I want to say it was Muhammad Ali or it was Thomas Hearns. It was one of those guys that was the first fight I ever saw. And I said, that's what I want to do.
Okay, but do you have boxing in your blood? Did it come from somebody way back in the day that it came up? Because, genius skips a generation. That's what they told me. That's why I'm such a genius. It skipped a generation. So did you have anybody around you? Because you said they didn't have any boxing gyms out there. So was that just from seeing a boxing match? That it pulled you in like that? Because you know what? We tell God our plan. He bust out laughing and tell you, okay, now, baby, this is what you do.
Man, there was nobody in my family that ever boxed. It's just, once I saw it I've always been an athlete. I've always liked to compete. And one of the things that turned me on about boxing was with football, basketball, and those other sports, you share the glory when you win. And boxing, I'm kind of selfish. So in boxing, when you win, you win. So the glory is all yours.
Oh, see, you know what? You done just ripped out a bunch of people like jugular right there. Because when you're in that ring and it's you and that guy. It's you and that guy. And now when you first started, did they have the weight classes, like the light featherweight, heavy feather? It's just too many weights.
It's a lot of different weight classes. So I was a light middleweight when I boxed.
Uh-huh. Okay, so now you're boxing and you get in, and did you and your brother start the gym in your town? Or did you go outside of it? Because they say you never make it in your own hometown, which is a crock of crap because you can't. You out there. So did you attract other fellas in the neighborhood to what you were doing while y'all pounding on the sack that hung on the tree?
Well, what ended up actually happened, I graduated from high school, still wanted to box, and I found myself in Mississippi, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I went to Job Corps to try to learn a trade. Okay. And I actually started learning to box in Job Corps in 1987. Mm-hmm. That's where I actually started applying it and learning it.
Mm-hmm. And so here you are, you go in, and thank you for your service. I saw your military accolades, and I thank you. And I'm glad you're a handsome guy. You are a good-looking guy.
Thank you.
But just so you know this, Jeff, I know you. And I am so honored and humbled by your service, because when you men and women strap on equipment, learn how to shoot a gun, go into war, and that's a whole lot of crazy up here. See, and it takes a special person. Scripture says we are called according to our purpose. And I just thank God that I wasn't called to the purpose of the military service. I want to be the one waving at you in the parade and saying, thank you, paying for you. You know, thank you for your service. Let me buy your lunch. Let me get you to the y'all, firefighters, police officers, anybody in the military, and people don't understand that the Coast Guard is part of the military. All of y'all, that's why y'all need us out here so we can tell the story. So with your military training that you learned, that your Job Corps set you up to be able to deal with your military training when you got into the service?
Well, I had one of the coaches that was up there in Job Corps. Mm-hmm. He always said, well, man, you're tough. You should go into the military. But growing up, the only two things I wanted to do was box and join the military. Anytime somebody asked me what I wanted to do, I want to go into the Army. I want to be a soldier. I never had no other path that I wanted to do in my life except for box and be a soldier.
And then you found a way to do them both. To do them both. What was that transition like for you? Because you seemed laser focused on what you wanted to do, what you knew you needed to do. And oftentimes, let me ask you this, because oftentimes people think that, this is the question I want to ask you. Did you go to boxing or did boxing come to you?
I went to boxing. Okay. It was kind of a mutual thing. I actually stopped by a recruiter's office after I got back from Job Corps because I wanted to get out of that small town. Mm. And he asked me, what do you like to do? Well, I like to fight. I like to box. He said, well, you know, you can do that in the Army. Man, let me sign the papers. That's the best of both worlds.
See, and that's when you know that your energy has opened up to the universe and you've accepted that. Because oftentimes, you know, it comes to you and it seems like it's so big, I can't do any of that. Why would you? And when you got it and you knew that this is what you wanted to do, because you are a retired Master Sergeant, am I correct in your ranking?
You are correct. Master Sergeant EX.
See, well, I didn't know what the EX was for. I'm like, I know what EX, I mean extra large, but
no, E8.
E8. Oh, that's big. That's okay. E8, that's kind of up there.
Yeah, I ain't but one pay grade higher than me, and that's an E9.
Oh, and that part. So when you're getting ready to leave and go from the Job Corps into the military, and were your constituents and your family members saying, oh, maybe now he'll make some sense out of this and get away from that crazy boxing and get a real government job? And
well, no, my mother didn't want me to go into the Army. No, don't go into the Army.
Well, she didn't want you to box. She didn't want you to go into the Army. What did she say to you? And why did you defy what she wanted you to do?
Well, I mean, at 22 years old, it's just, well, mama, I understand, but I still have to find my own way in life. I can't just living in that small town. It wasn't for me.
And you knew that you needed to take that platform and grow from that. And so what was your life like in the military? And how did you incorporate your military service with boxing and being a pugilist? I just love to say that. Y'all don't know what a pugilist is? Look it up. Google it. And that's what we were taught. I didn't hear boxing for a long time. Oh, Muhammad Ali is a pugilist. You know, Tommy Hearns is a pugilist. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard, they're pugilists. And then when I found out, oh, we could just call them boxing. I always thought because pugilists sound like, never mind, mother love. Shut up. This is, and we used to have to get a dictionary, a Bible, of the source, the Quran, all kinds of reading materials, because our family, they could cuss you out or you didn't know what they were saying. You better look that stuff up. And I thought pugilist was a cuss word. I'm just gonna keep it real. You pugilist. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a real nasty cuss word. And I was glad that it wasn't that it was boxing. So when you became a pugilist and you fought in the light heavyweight, did you say?
Light middleweight.
See what heavyweight, little weight, midweight. I was big weight, and then I was medium weight, then I was little weight. You know, so that's why I'm fascinated about the weight classes. And I was watching this boxing match just the other day, And maybe I've gotten spoiled about expecting these athletes to be in the ring in good shape. He had more chi-chis than I did. He had man chi-chis. He needed at least a 42 double D. And I'm like, why are they moving on around? They didn't look like they were in good shape. How important is it to stay in good shape? And what is your regimen about that when you finally started boxing?
Well, it's a hard regimen. Being in shape as a boxer is 80 to 90% of it. I've seen guys that were better boxers lose to guys that were in better shape than them. So being in shape is hard. It's at least training twice a day, getting up early in the morning, getting your road work in, and getting some rest, eating proper, and then going to the gym, training for 2 or 3 hours. So it's a hard life to live.
And you're doing this pretty much 7 days a week to stay in shape.
Yes. That's what made the Army so easy for me. Is I would look at a lot of the other guys around me that were faltering and saying they were tired and saying this was hard. I'm like, dude, you should try boxing. The Army is nothing.
You gonna tell me something about this action? Oh, no. Come on, dude. Let me show you what grown men do and have to do. And it's so time. It takes so much of your time, and you know I was really surprised because I started. Don't date yourself, mother love. I'm gonna tell y'all that my grandmother, my great grandmother, them told me about boxing and the pugilist and the Great White Hope, and they were looking for somebody that could beat. Okay, call his name for me, Jeff. They was looking for him.
Somebody that could beat Rocky Marciano.
Is that what it was? They could beat Rocky Marciano.
Yep.
And who went and beat Rocky Marciano?
Oh man, I can't remember who was the first one. I think it was Joe Louis.
Say it again.
I think it was Joe Louis.
Oh, let's have a moment for the defeat. Moment's over. So now that we're there with that, and to see more men of color coming into the business, and when they kept talking about the Great White Hope, I was like, I don't see no white men in the ring. They all brown, chocolate and beige, and coffee mocha. They look like my brothers and sisters. And I wanted to know about the process of that. You said the training is hard. That's the physicality. What about your mental acuity?
Yeah, and mental plays a big part of it also. It's just, when I was at West Point, I had a kid that I trained, and he wasn't the best boxer on the team, but he had that mentality that you would.
Wait, and I read that. Wait, I'm sorry. You went to West Point and you were training people at West Point, the West Point Academy, the ones with the fancy.
Yes, at the military academy, I was the assistant head coach for the boxing team.
So when they called you, did you know that was for you to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I've always felt that, when I get opportunities, I know that they're feeling, should I do it or should I not? Because I've always felt I was walking in the path that God had for me.
See, and that's when and I'm sure you've heard this, when you wanna hear God laugh, tell him your plan.
Yep. Yep.
No, you're not doing that. This is what you do. This is the path I'm sending you on. This is the reason why you are on the planet, to bring life and love to the people in the world. Okay, now you take yourself over there and do what you need. And then all you could do is say, either you're going to be real stupid like I was, and I tried to barter with God. I was like, well, wait, why would you, and I'm the queen of snappy comebacks. Let me tell you, I did stand-up comedy for 15 years. I'm the queen of snappy. And I went, in my stupid comment, and I went, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Why would you send me? Why not you?
Yep.
I had no snappy comeback. That's when you are here. I don't believe in happen chance. I believe in methodical walkways and pathways, and we have to find what our divine power is. We have to find who it is we are and what we are doing and where can you be of service. That's it. Everybody is, we come here on a clean slate, chalkboard, whiteboard. Yeah, I know you worked on the whiteboard, right? Come in with a clean slate. And then the grown-ups just jack up their life. And you said, no, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a boxer. I'm supposed to be a coach. So now you get it. Okay, I'm off and at teaching at West Point, the boxing coach, assistant boxing coach
Yep.
at West Point. Okay, I just want y'all to know that. You know, we don't get to talk to many West. We don't get to. Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead. Go ahead with the story. I know Miss Cindy Busby told you how crazy I am. Did she give you a note?
Yes, she did.
That was crazy. She go off the rails. Just stay. So, okay, so you're at West Point. You're coaching, and are you still boxing at the time when you go to West Point?
No. I was coaching there at the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
So we had this one boxer that wasn't the best boxer on the team, but his mentality and his attitude was, I refuse to lose to you. You're not going to beat me. And he won 3 national championships for collegiate boxing just by refusing to lose. I've seen him beat so many people that he should have beat, but he just refused to lose.
You know, and that takes a lot of mental power to stay in that realm and keep your body right. And when you, because I know it's gotta be, you know, some of these boxers and coming in and they really do you see them where they want to box, but they don't understand the process of learning what to do and going through the movements and getting that mental acuity so that they can become the best boxers that they can be. Because, you know, some of them, y'all, they cocky, like, you know, I can do this. I whooped up everybody in my neighborhood. Have no technique, have no sense of timing, no sense of space in the... Okay, go ahead on to the story, Mr. Mays.
Well, that's the hard part about coaching, which is the most joyful part about coaching. It goes hand in hand. A lot of kids come in the gym, they see stuff on YouTube, they see stuff on TV. You know, I want to do it this way. No, you're going to do it my way, or you'll find somewhere else to do it. So I always start them off really slow. And I lose a lot of kids because they're not moving fast enough. You do what I want you to do when I want you to do it, or you go somewhere else and train.
So you need to have that master sergeant mentality to let them know it's no joke. You know, and you know, Tina, especially young people, they think they know everything and they don't know crap from apple butter. Why not come in with a clean? Oh, I know what so and such and such. Like you said, I saw it on YouTube. I saw it. Where'd you learn how to do that? On the internet. It's a lot of great information out here on the internet, and there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation about that, even in the boxing world, because these kids look at these videos and think, oh, I can do this. And do you have to have, even when they're coming in kind of raw and, you know, they might have some kind of talent, and what's your process? Do you talk to them first about who they are, what they need to do? Because you said they're not moving fast enough. What is fast enough for them to be moving, to be able to be under your tutelage as their coach?
Well, a lot of them, you know, when they first start, they want to jump right away into the ring. They want to start fighting. But you have to go slow. You have to, we have a training acronym in the Army. Well, our training saying in the Army is crawl, walk, run. And a lot of them don't want to do the crawling stage. And the walking stage. They want to go straight.
Wait, I lost them. And they want to go straight. I hope you patch back into me, Jeffrey. We just lost your feed. And when they come in and, you know, you want to jump the gun, in our business, they call it jumping the shark. You want to go in there and jump the gun, jump the shark. You want to, oh no, I know about all of this. I can do this, you know, it's no big deal. And then you realize you get them there and they did not want to take it slow. They did not want to find out what the process was, because it is a process. Learning is always a process. You know, one of the things I've always said is, and I'm a pretty smart chick. I mean, I think I'm a pretty smart chick. Yeah, I'm just saying, that's just me. I want to go into the room and be the dumbest one in the room. I want to be the one that is most uninformed, and I want to have all these, however many there is, if it's 1, if it's 21, however many people are in the room, I want to get their information. I want to know what they know. So and I think that, you know, this, you know, makes sense with boxing as well, that you go in and you really don't know. You got to have a certain kind of mentality to be able to do that on a regular basis, to go in and you got the, what did you say, Jeffrey? You got to crawl, walk, and run. And they want to, oh, skip crawling. I can get up and, my mother told me I was walking at 8 months, so I don't need to go through the crawling stage because I can already walk. And then I'm walking, and then I'm doing all of this on my own. And so I just want you to tell me what it is, but I don't want to have to go through these processes. I don't want to have to go through these steps to say, oh, let me learn how to crawl. I like when you crawling, you got to get, you either are down on all fours or you get down on all fours. And I know what it's like to crawl when I had to get down on all fours, to be able to learn, to be able to understand, to get the lesson that is being taught to me. And no, we don't know everything. We think we know everything. And I tell you, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. Oh, but I know everything else. And I don't know everybody. Say it with me, because I know everybody else. And you and I are all in the same path. And it's, look, I know he's coming back. And hey there, wait a minute. You don't have to hang up on me. I talk to you.
My stuff overheated in down here in this Texas heat.
You can't break the internet, Jeff. What is you doing? You finna set the room on fire. And I just want you to know, we are in two separate places, and I didn't touch any of his buttons, because they tell me I gotta stand down here in front of my computer, said, Mother Love, don't touch the buttons. I'm like, that's not what I do. I'm not an engineer. I'm just gonna keep on rolling with it. Okay, so I was talking about the mental acuity, and you were saying that these young guys want to come in and they want to. You said the process is crawl, walk, run. They don't want to crawl. They don't want to crawl, because I was saying, my mama told me I started walking when I was 8 months old. I don't need to learn how to crawl. I would just sit right here because I know how to do that. I'm gonna walk, and then you start walking. I could walk faster than you. I just want to get to the run part, and then you run into stupid.
Yep.
And then you got to and say, "Oh, I ran into stupid. I'm sorry, I wasn't." If we listen. And so what are the ages? Because you seem like you coach young people. Do you also coach older people?
Yes, I do. I coach them from 8 up until, I think the oldest boxer I have is 32.
Oh, that's old. Okay. Well, I know I won't be in your class. Okay. Let me check out my admission form. No Jeffrey man's class. Just watch it then. I'm telling you, I've been watching the Olympics, and let's talk about that. I mean, you were an Olympic coach in the 2021 Tokyo, Japan boxing. What was that like? And how do you get selected to that? Because it seemed like, you go to the Olympics, I'm always thinking they're going, this is divine intervention. The gods are touching you. You go. That's why I have never been, because they're like, you're going to be sitting over there on one of them roller chairs. Yes, I would.
Well, when I went, I never thought. I first got selected to be a Team USA coach in 2017. Mm-hmm. And when I first got selected, I never had the Olympics on my mind. When I boxed, I wanted to box as a boxer in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. But when that dream got derailed, and I just stayed in the Army, I never thought, never in a million years, that I would be an Olympic boxing coach.
See, well, I tell you, there you go with your goofy plan and gaga.
Yep.
Okay, now let's see. So when you get this, what goes through your head that I've been selected to do this, to be involved in the Olympics. The summer games are going on. The USA is kicking butt and taking names. What was that like for you to go, I'm getting ready to go make history?
It was an amazing experience. A lot of times it was kind of surreal. I didn't really believe it at first, but then I kept thinking, well, this is where God want me to be, so this is where I'm supposed to be.
So what was the conversation like with your people around you, with your family, with your friends, with your co-workers, and you tell them, oh, I'm going to coach in the Olympics?
Everybody was just amazed. And you doing what? I said, yeah, I'm going to the Olympics to be a coach. And most of them was amazed, but a lot of them was like, well, we expected that out of you.
See, they saw it. They saw it. And you seem to be a very modest man. You seem to take your accolades, in stride, as because you realize that this is your assignment. This is your mission. This is your purpose of being here. When you see these guys come in from 8 to 32, I think I got shoes that are older than 32. Oh my God. When you see these guys come in, and what you said 8 to 32, is there a cutoff age to get into the ring, getting into boxing? And
So for amateur boxing, the cutoff is 40 years old, and it's still not really 40. They have what they call a master's division for amateur boxing, and that's from 40 years old up until, I think I've seen like a couple of 76-year-olds in their boxing.
Oh Lord. And because oftentimes these men, I want to ask you, because we think of boxing and pugilist as a man's sport. When women started to get into boxing, I mean, really get into boxing. I mean, I've always thought, you got to be crazy to get into the ring with somebody. Something is off. I ain't going to say crazy, but something is off up in your head right here. When you say, I'm going to bulk up, I'm going to train, I'm going to get in the ring with one other person, I'm going to whoop they behind. This is not, and boxing has no nationality. You can't say that. I mean, we've seen people from all over the world. When I saw the Thriller in Manila and all the money they spent on that, and there was another one, the Rumble in the Jungle. I mean, Muhammad Ali coming up with these names, and you had to. I just absolutely respected him so much, because he stood up for what he believed in. And he said, I'm too pretty to get hit. So he kept a lot of his brains together for quite a long time. So when they get there and they get in and they're doing their thing, do you ever have to tell them, okay, this is not for you? And go back. Here, rewind. I wanted to ask about when the women entered the boxing world. And what did you think about that? And did you ever think that you would coach women, or you tell me the story?
Well, I never really thought I would coach women, because back when I was boxing, it wasn't real big for women. But then as time went on, once I started coaching, I started to see more and more women box. And in all actuality, most of my success as a coach have come from my women. Most of my amateur national champions, and I also have a professional girl. She's 8-0 as a pro and just won the WBA International Championship a few months ago. So all of my success have been with women. Yep.
Under your tutelage. So, and are you seeing an influx of more women coming into the sport?
I am. It's more and more women coming into it, and I'm happy to see it, because it's just, boxing is for everyone, and it's for no one. So it's just.
I love that. Wait a minute. I take copious notes when people be on the show with me. Boxing is for no one. Boxing is for no one.
It's for everyone, and it's for no one.
Okay, boxing is for everyone. I got everyone and no one. I can do. That's why I write in pencil, so I can write it. Okay. And to see, when I first started seeing women boxing, and and I'm such a girly girl, no, even when I was growing up, I was in 2 fights in my entire life, physical fights in my entire life. And I whooped it behind, because I was like, no, because I didn't want to be hit, and when I would fight, on those 2 times, my mother used to say, and my aunt and them, and all them people there in the neighborhood, when they start taking off their coat and their jacket, that's when you start swinging out. That's what get that. And I was like, that's kind of vicious. Okay, but I understood it, and I had the reputation for, you don't want to mess with her. My older sister, one of the sweetest, kindest people you would ever know in your life. God rest her soul. Don't mess with her, and don't mess with her sisters and brothers. And I would tell people, because I got that mouth. I'm like, oh, you know whose sister I am, right? You know who is my sister. And so she was like, why you keep getting me in these boxing matches and they can't compete with me? And I was like, well, she called them pugilistic encounters. So I had to go back and get the dictionary, pugilistic. And the sweetest person you ever wanted to meet in your life. And I was like, why would a woman, I'm womanly woman, I'm girly girl, I know where my pieces parts go. And I'm trying to figure out, why would you want to get in? And these are not unattractive women. Why would you want to go in there and have somebody even like taking a punch at you? And do you teach them, oh no, you too pretty to be hit, so you whoop their behind?
Well, a lot of times, a lot of women get into it to build self confidence or just to get in shape. And then it leads to, okay, well, you know what? I want to try to have a fight and see where I'm at. And then that one fight leads to another fight. It's not for every one of them, but those special few that it is for, they start to like it. You know, I've seen girls come in that had no self-confidence, you know, just too shy to say anything, go on to be national champions.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't see it, but you saw it. And you saw it. You saw it coming in. So here you are from Mississippi. You got brothers and sisters. And what your mama said, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Well, I had one brother, but he died a few years ago. But he got arrested. So he was really happy that I was coaching. He was really happy when I was boxing. He used to brag to everybody about his older brother.
Okay, now this is the brother that was out there hanging up this cloth with the...
Yep.
See, and his legend lives on. I want to ask you about the world inclusion in boxing, because oftentimes when we think of boxers and pugilists, we think Americans, people from South America, people from Mexico, people from someplace other than the United States and the Southern Hemisphere countries. What would you want to say to the other part of the world, the Europeans, the Italians, the Africans, about them getting involved in the sport? And do you see that growing?
Well, I see that the Europeans are actually dominating in the sport now as far as amateur boxing. Mm-hmm. They don't have a lot of good professionals, but as amateurs, they're really dominating in the amateur world.
Mm-hmm. So, and we're hearing so much going on. And now let me ask you this. When you see the amateurs, boxing in Europe and what have you, do you watch them to see if there's somebody that maybe you could pull them over here to the United States, or one of your pugilists that you could send over there to Europe? Is it that kind of give and take, or do y'all have that the territorial issue? These are my fighters, these are my boxers, keep your behind over there.
When I watch them, I try to watch them so I can see how my boxers can beat them.
Oh, why am I not surprised about that? I that's what made me ask him. I'm like, do he go and watch there? I knew that, because then they get better. You have said that there have been some people that have come into your program and they weren't the best boxers. They were willing to learn how to become the best boxer, how to become a better boxer. And when you see that, what goes through your head when you watch the champions that you built? What does that do for Jeff's psyche when you do this and then you keep doing it? As I said, it's a good thing you're good looking.
Well, it's an amazing experience to see somebody that come into the gym, they don't know how to box, or they lack the self-confidence. Mm-hmm. They go on from there to be a national champion, or they just go on to have a few boxing matches and it changes their lives. I've had kids that I've coached that didn't think they would graduate high school. They graduated high school. Others didn't think that they would ever go to college. They went to college. A lot of them went into the military, police officers, firefighters, where they didn't think they had a bright future ahead of them, but boxing gave them that confidence to go out and be successful in life.
And you keep going. I mean, what you just said. Cynthia obviously didn't give you the memo that you're going to be breaking up the host on the show, because, we need you, Jeff. We need you to be strong and to be forceful and to be loving and kind and be hard on them and teach them how to be men. I think I'm one of the greatest mommies on the face of the planet. I got one son, and there was no way I could ever teach him how to be a man. To listen to you talk to these young men and these women, and just showing by example that you can do this, because you don't seem like one of the ones like me. Well, I don't do that either. I'm like, oh yes, I did this and I've done that. Be like, okay, because when I asked you about, you were telling me about West Point, and I asked you about, you went, oh yeah, it was, you seem to you got really, really humble. Why is that important to you to stay grounded with these kids when you could be like on the moon, just really cutting up, wreaking havoc and running amok? Oh no, that's my tagline.
But one of the things is just my upbringing. My mother always taught me no matter what you do, you have to stay humble or God will take it away from you. So I just always felt like, if I do it, it's in God's plan for me to do it. There's no need to brag about doing it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm walking in my path.
And you do what you do. Remember that line I know you saw Ray, the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
My favorite line out of many lines in the movie, when he said, I want to own my masters and I want to let the music do what it do. You got in and say, let it do what it do. And to be able to know, and I thank Cynthia and Bus B Promotions for allowing us to get connected, because it is so important for the young people to be able to know they're not in this alone. There are leaders. There are people in the fire with you. And I mean, you're a gauntlet runner. You see all the crap on this side, that side, the racist side, the crazy side, and you just forge through it anyway. Where do you get your strength to keep going, to keep moving?
Well, I get my strength from, first of all, God. And it's just, I feel like I would constantly say, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose that God has for me on this planet. One of my most amazing accomplishments was not me going to the Olympics, was not me, doing 21 years in the Army, was not me getting selected for induction into the Texas Boxing Hall of Fame.
Wait, you can't keep doing you know what? I'm coming over your house right now and I'm biting you right here on your forehead. You can't just be throwing away. I got this on the list, y'all. And I lost them again. Okay. See, that's because you was wrong as two left shoes. Let me see if I can.
Am I going? Am I still there?
No, you back. I told you I don't touch the buttons. That's all on you do. So now tell me about your family life. You got, cool people, fun people. What do you, when you go out and you're not boxing, and you're doing your thing, because I'm going to ask you about the Hall of Fame later. So you don't throw it off. Okay, yeah, you got inducted to the Texas Boxing Hall of Fame. We'll talk about that later and what that was. See, this is why I pick. See, y'all don't think I read the information. Okay, so, now that you brought it up, let's talk about what that was like, and were you expecting that? Because that's like getting, a star on the Houston Hollywood Walk of Fame. I mean, the Texas Walk of Fame. What did they send you a letter? Did they call you, text you?
Well, they called me and told me that someone had submitted me. I still don't know to this day who submitted me, but someone submitted me for induction, and they told me after the panel reviewed all my information that I was selected for induction. They just still got to let me know when they're going to have the induction ceremony, but I've been selected for induction to the Texas Boxing Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, I want to know when that is, because you're gonna get a bite in the forehead from Mother Love. Isn't that and then see,
I wasn't even looking for that either.
No, see, and you said to this day you don't know who did that.
I don't know who did it.
Jeff, people, we never know who's looking at us. We never know who's watching, who's listening, who is, picking up nuggets from you, and you don't even know that they're there. And when they do finally reveal themselves, you're like, oh, I wouldn't have never thought they would have saw all of that. Is something wrong with them? And I mean, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Texas in boxing. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have kids? Are you married? You got kids?
Well, I'm married. I have 6 kids. All of them grown.
What do they think of this? And what does your wife think of when she go, yes, I'm married to Jeff Mays, and he like being hit in the head. He makes a boxing coach. And
the funny thing, she hates boxing. She hates it.
Okay, you got to get out of my head, dude. So what is her feeling about boxing? And see, that's when you know that they love you. She loves you. She
still supports me.
She supports you. See, in a relationship, let me ask. Well, I already know the answer to this question with you and what's your wife's name? Can I ask?
Donise, Donnise.
Hey, Miss Donise. Okay, Miss Donise and Jeff. I know what the deal is. I'm in a relationship. My husband and I will celebrate our 52nd thousandth year together, whatever it is.
Nice.
Hey, yeah. he's getting into heaven. No questions asked. I'm going to have to sit in the mercy seat and start explaining stuff. It's going to be all that. And I said, in a relationship, there are two kinds of people in a relationship: the crazy person and the one that takes care of the crazy person. Miss Donna.
She takes care of the crazy person.
I already knew that. I already knew as soon as you said she don't like Bob. Yeah, she really loves. So what? And you got 6 kids, and they all grown, and they got 6 different stories to tell. Now you got boys and girls. Is that Miss
4? Oh no, that's one of the coaches at the gym. So it's we got 4 girls and 2 boys.
Mm-hmm. Same makeup in my family. 4 girls and 2 boys. Now,
none of them box. I wish one of them would have boxed, but none of them wanted to box.
Okay, it's better. Dad, you getting hit in the head on purpose. You getting punched in your solar plexus for real. And do you think I know your wife probably thinks. See, this is when you know somebody when they really, really love you. When you go on a crazy rant and they go, I'm not doing that. I don't approve, but I'm here to support you. And that's what it is, not to be judgmental. You got to be supportive. When I told my husband, well, they paying me money to go and make people laugh make people I don't know laugh, and they'll pay me. And first time I ever did it, I made $50 and all the free drinks in the bar. I was like, I could get paid for this. Now I'm here for this swag and to meet wonderful, talented people, coaches, and making a difference in the world, because that's exactly what you're doing. Now, because you can talk about all your success stories. What about the kids that come in, and how do you let them down gently when they don't have the mental capacity or the discipline to be? Because you got to be disciplined.
Well, I always tell my kids that boxers that I would never lie to you. Mm-hmm. So if boxing ain't for you, I'm going to tell you boxing ain't for you. It's not a knock on you. Mm-hmm. It's nothing for you to feel sad about, but just everybody can't be a boxer. It's just, everybody can't be.
Right. Everybody can't play basketball. Everybody can't sing. Everybody can't be in sports. Everybody's not going to be doctors or engineers. Fine. You have to, you always people are saying, oh, mother love, I don't know what to do with my life. What is my purpose? Your purpose is to find out what your purpose is. And
find out what your purpose is. Yes.
About it. And yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be giant. And you're going to say, I can't do this by myself. Oh, you think that the universe and God and all the energy didn't put this out here for you to succeed? You get on the path. Get on the path. And once you got on the path, Jeff, did you see the universe opening up to conspire for your success to get to where you are now?
I did. And I've always been a firm believer that you get back what you put out. So I've always done stuff for people, go above and beyond to help people. And I never ask for anything in return. And a lot of people always say, well, you're lucky. You're always lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I help people. I do stuff and God gives it back to me.
That's called the cycle of life as you go around. What they say, what goes around comes around.
Yes.
What comes around, it comes around. And people didn't even, especially our people, didn't even understand what the word karma meant. Okay. Yep. You just can't. One of my friends he would tell me, God rest his soul, he would say, you might get by, but you won't get away.
Nope.
Oh, because it's going to come up on you and you'll be sitting there talking, I don't know what happened to me. Why is this going on for me? Oh, what was you, my foot?
You know why it's happening. You know why it's happening. You put bad stuff out and you get bad stuff back to you.
And, wait. They can't, they don't, they won't. I can't say they can't, they won't, they don't. No, because it's not my fault. Coach, you don't understand. It was, my bad upbringing. Okay, now you upright. Okay, now you're a grown person. You don't have to, if you don't even want to listen to them, what is your path going to be? And that's why I have always been so fascinated about boxing in and of itself, because that is a self-contained mentality. You have to train yourself to the nth degree with your sole goal is to getting in that ring and opening up double cans of whoop ass on them so they don't hit you. That's why Leather
Yep.
Mama Hop, he said, I'm too pretty to be hit. And he made sure he was too pretty. My kids' mother, she had a t-shirt. It was too funny. She had a t-shirt that said, I'm too pretty to work. I told her, it ain't that much pretty in the world, dear. I ain't the one. And when you talk it, and he could talk the talk and walk the walk, and I mean he had us all up on cloud 9, cloud 15, cloud 87, because it was like he was one of those, dare I say, well, he was an extraordinary individual, an extraordinary person, an extraordinary athlete, to be able to do all that he did, and we still today talk about him. And
he was bigger than boxing.
What you say is big. Boxing ain't for everybody. Boxing is for nobody, but it's for everybody. Right? Did I say it right?
Yep. Boxing is for everyone, and no one.
And no one. So what is your take on this 2024, the Summer Olympics in Paris?
Well, Team USA has been doing outstanding so far as medals, except for boxing. And I know the kids give it all they got, but we ended up finishing the Olympics with only a bronze medal.
Okay, but that's a medal. It's not
that's
like
a medal.
8 people down. You on the podium. You are on the podium. You know what? I would give anything to say that I'm like the 18th best in the world, because that means there's only 17 people ahead of me. They were doing some kind of analytic research, and they send the stuff on the internet and tell you where you are, and on this list of gajillion people, and they said, "Oh, Mother Love, you're like 400." I don't know what they said the number was, and I thought it was hilarious. I didn't even know I was on a number list, because it's some stuff you could do and some stuff that you cannot do.
Yeah.
So now,
well, that's why I try to tell all the kids that went over there.
Nope. What a try jar. You got $5. You don't try to do anything, sir. You do.
Well, I told all the kids that most of the ones that I talked to that's over there that don't feel bad about being over there and not winning a medal. You're an Olympian. Nobody can ever take that away from you. The wearer has like 7-8 billion people in it. And only 0.01% of the world's population would ever be an Olympian. And you're one of that 0.01%.
Okay, you done just broke it down. I'm ready to get on the plane to Paris, and I'm gonna when they get back to the United States of Montana, I'm taking my house shoe out there to the plane. And if you don't pick your face up off the floor, are you kidding me? You 1, 2, 3, set the barn door. They have done such an amazing job. And I know everybody is training for the gold, and they do this every 4 years. And I love watching it. I love the excitement of it. All of them. And besides boxing, you can't pick that as your favorite Olympic. It's what is it? Your Olympic. You know what I'm saying?
I would say track and field. I love watching track and field.
What's your favorite event? What's your
track and field? It would probably be the 1500 meter, because I used to run that in high school, and the 100-meter dash.
That was dude so fast he won by a lean.
Yes, by a lean.
And he didn't even have a lot of chi-chis. He had no. He into the table, and I'm watching them, and they train so hard, to run 100 meters, and you could do it in less than 9 something seconds. Listen, it take me that long to get to the bathroom. I don't understand. I'm just in awe of these athletes. I am Simone Biles.
It take me that long to get up out the bed.
See, you know what? See, I don't call myself a senior citizen. I'm a seasoned citizen. I got flavor, and you can smell me. Back in the olden days, when the white man was buying our ancestors on the podium, they used to want to lick them, and if they tasted salty, they knew they would be in there. See, that's me. I'm not. Look, I ain't running fast. I'm not jumping over nothing. I'm there to be a spectator. I could tell the story, what I saw, but see, when I was watching them run down 100 meters at breakneck speed, I was like, oh, honey, I think I'm gonna need a hip replacement. Okay, they went too fast. Who can run that? And they do, and they
Yep.
train and they keep on going. So now, when you're doing all of this, because it takes a lot of work for you as a coach, what is your coaching your coaching process to get Jeff Mays together to go out to coach these people, these young men and women?
Oh, a lot of times I spend a lot of time writing up a training plan. I look at sparring videos, look at different fight videos, and I look at what my boxers overall as a whole are doing wrong. And then I say, well, how can I fix this? What drills or what training can I do to fix it? So I spent a lot of time outside of the gym trying to prepare to get ready to come to the gym to train.
They got to get rid of them, to get them. And a lot of times, you know, I'm so glad that we're finally, as Americans and as human beings, are willing to open up about what really goes on with our mental health. A lot of these young men and women could be coming from toxic situations that, you know, whatever it is, if you know, what, it's not cohesive and it's not a process that children need to be going through, and they're looking for an outlet. And I remember we had this one friend, and he was just going through HE double hockeys, and he found boxing at our local recreation center. Remember when they had local recreation centers?
Yep.
And you could send the kids to go play basketball, get on the baseball team, get on the boxing team. We got people to come into the neighborhood and, you know, promote by a heavy bag and all. And
Yep.
that's a heavy bag. And me and my stupid stuff, I thought I could pick it up. It can't be that heavy.
Oh, it's heavy.
I could have been crushed to death. You know, some stuff that you think you can do, you think past that. And, you know, I was like, I went to pick up the heavy bag. I'm like, they was like, don't pick it. And I was on the floor and it fell right next to me. Never did that again. I said, I will watch boxing. And when these kids come in, when we were growing up, there were different avenues that we could release all this pent up energy. You know, they told them, go outside and play. Be home before the street lights get home. You know, go out there and play. You know, go get into a sport. And we did that. And when they took that away, we started watching our young people's mental health deteriorate. Yep. The nutrition deteriorated. I mean, I remember growing up and we ate like steak and stuff, you know, like a holiday time. You ate fruits and vegetables and chicken. Yeah, you know, whatever else they could put together.
Well, a lot of the things I think nowadays is going on with kids, and I'm glad I didn't have it. Wasn't around when I was growing up. Is the social media. A lot of kids, that's what I think has a lot to do with a lot of kids' mental health. They see other kids posting that they're living their life this, they're doing this. When in actuality, it's just stuff they're posting for the internet. But it affects a lot of kids. Even kids, when they get, a long time ago when I was in school, if a kid got bullied, it stayed at school. Now when a kid get bullied, it's somebody records a video and it's all over the internet, so that kid can never get away from it. So I think the internet and social media has a lot to do with the kids' mental health nowadays.
Okay, now I'm bringing that up because it does have a lot to do with their mental health. And there are a lot of parents, you know, some of their kids, okay, our grandkids that I know for sure, their access to the internet has been very, very limited. They were not going to let them. They were like, and they didn't give them the device and put it in their hands and say, now you look on this thing and then you go over there and get away from me because I'm looking at my thing. I'm playing Candy Crush or whatever it is, Jim Bob and, you know, whatever it is. And I mean, I remember going to the grocery store. I saw this young Hispanic family and everybody was overweight. I mean, they little short, and I think the husband was shorter than me, and I'm 5'6". And the lady took the baby's bottle that was sitting in the carriage, and the bottle was empty, and she went and got some Gatorade, and she poured it into this baby's bottle. Okay, do you even know what you're doing? Or they'll pour soda pop in the baby's bottle. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, have we gotten away? We've simply gotten away from good nutrition, and some people don't even know this. And bullying, you know, they used to say, "Oh, that's all part of life. You'll grow out of it." But now it is
you can't get away from it.
and they said once it's on the internet, you
Yep.
can't never you can't never take it away. And these kids don't have the mental um uh the the mental growth to be able to
Yep.
discern what is real and what is not real. I mean, you got people that are supposed to be grown people and thinking people who think a maniac should be in the White House. So what does that do for our children's attitudes and what they think is right and what's wrong? And they should be able to do whatever they want to do because this is what happened to him. Did nobody say anything about him doing
Yep.
that? Okay, there's no consequences, and then you see these kids are in such trouble, and then when the parents are called to the schools, you see why.
Yep.
And they take no
Yep.
responsibility for the growth of
None
the children.
whatsoever.
No, the teacher should do it. My husband is a big advocate. No, your first teacher's got to be your parents in your home. They got to be the adults in the room around you. And so many of our children don't have that village, don't have those adults in the room. And do you find yourself being that father-like figure to the ones who come in and you know that they're broken?
Well, I do. As a boxing coach, I often tell folks, you're not only just a boxing coach, you're a counselor, you're a father, you're an uncle, you're whatever that kid needs you to be to them.
Mm-hmm. And when you see that and you know that you're doing the right thing, what comes to you, and do they come back to you and say, Coach Mays, sir, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't, or thank you for what you did for me? Tell me about your success stories.
I've had
That's the
so
good
many.
part. That's the good part.
I've had so many kids come back to me. Like I told you before, that didn't think they was going to be able to graduate high school because of their home situation, but they graduated high school, went to college. Some of them went to college, some of them firefighters, some of them soldiers, and they came back years later. Coach, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made it where I am now. But my biggest success story is a kid that I coached at West Point. We spent a lot of time on the road, going to different tournaments and stuff. And he wasn't the best, the smartest student at West Point, but he did graduate. And he went on to
wait a minute, what they say? It's 551 kids in the class, okay, and they graduate from medical school, and you 551, and you still graduate from medical school.
Yep.
And he had nowhere to go but up.
So I was a Team USA coach, and I went to the Olympics. And now he was a Team USA junior and youth coach, and now he's at the Olympics now with a female boxer from the country of Tonga. One it meant more to me to see him at the. Let me see. Somebody was calling.
This is a live conversation. People, they don't
okay.
care.
You see?
They don't care. Okay, so he's in Paris now.
It meant more to me to see him at. Yeah, it means more to me to see him at the Olympics than me going to the Olympics. But that's somebody I directly mentored and taught, and he followed directly in my footsteps. So I must have been doing something right.
You must have. You did something right. You did something excellent. And I appreciate your humbleness. This is why I couldn't be in a coaching position, because my head would be this big giant. That one of my babies out there. Oh Lord, let me get this fucking and put it down. That's one of my babies right there. Eddie Murphy movie, I think it was whatever it was when he played all the characters at the table. And he's
Hercules.
That would have been. I mean, that has got to be something. So now, what are your plans for the future with you? And give your website so people might want to get in touch with you and send their kids over to get coached by one of the greatest boxing coaches of all time. He coached you from 8 to 74. I know I put that in there, but you said you got a master.
Well, my goal is to do this for another 3 or 4 years and then retire from it. Just actually try to see some of the world and do things.
I'm in the bus out laughing because you said you're gonna retire. Oh yeah, I want you to call me, and let me know how that works out. Yeah, we're gonna skip that. Give people your website so they can get in touch with you.
So my boxing website is puretechniqueboxing.com, and it's PURETECHNIK. Pure Technique. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Mays Boxing.
Well, you know, it has been my distinct honor and pleasure to chat with you. I am so honored to be here with you. Thank you for all the love that you put out there and you give these young men and women to let them know you are not here by happen chance. You are destined for greatness. And I want to say this to all of my babies, no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some other love now and then. Even my guest is coming up on Thursday. Thank you, Miss, and know that you are always welcome here. And I want to say thank you to Miss Cynthia Busby because she loved me and she loved you too.
Yes,
We
thank you.
love
I love my cousin.
you. Oh wait, no, now you tell me she your see it was good. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I believe in nepotism. Peace. I